Okay, guys, this is Mr. McKenzie here. I wanted to be able to give you a resource that you could check out anytime. We're going into our personal program here pretty soon for beginning weights, and I just wanted to outline the assignment for you, but also give you some resources that you could visit at any time. So I'm going to make this recording and I'm going to keep it on our Google Classroom site, and you guys can check it out from time to time. And it'll be better maybe than just going through it in class time. I try to post not only the steps on here, but I'm also going to try and show you a couple of examples of some students who have done it in the past, or one student in particular that I thought did a really good job on the assignment. But anywho, this is an attempt for you guys to write your own program from top to bottom. It's one of your graduating standards that we have to meet in physical education, and showing the ability to do this. And so here we go. Okay, when we start on this thing, if we kind of break this down in a personal program step by step, I did this once for a class in terms of how it shakes out through a week. The first thing we'd want to do is figure out what we're going for in our writing our own program, what our goal is essentially. And this can be difficult because it changes frequently, and certainly will for you guys too. Over the next couple weeks and months and years and things like that, it changes all the time. The options that we give you that are pretty cut and dry options here are to choose something along the strength realm. So maybe there's an occupation that you look forward to in the future that you need to build up your strength for a little bit. Maybe you're an athlete. Maybe you have a job currently that you feel like you could do a lot better if you were able to increase your strength levels. Whatever it is that applies to you. You could have goals that relate maybe more to the endurance of your body. Not so much how capable your muscles are for a short period of time, but can they do submaximal contractions, little amounts of work for long periods of time. If that sounds like it's up your alley for something, maybe again there's a job you perform, like you go out and shovel snow or something like that, and you got to do it all night. And once on the nights where it comes in, and so you got to be able to do that over and over again. Or you're a distance runner maybe on our track team in cross country, and so building your own program around that ability and bringing that into your training might be desirable to you. Um, when we present something like mass on here, this is particularly for people who not necessarily for anything they're doing in their life, hobby wise or job wise, or future profession wise. A lot of students choose this option because they just really want to see physical changes in their body here a little bit. Um, and then we have some students who, this is their motivation. They above all things else, maybe it kind of goes along the lines of mass. They just want to see. They want to be a part of weightlifting so they can have your body be in better shape and more lean tissues, and just not run into anything bad when we go through. I've also had students who have taken the class that have been injured before, and they've written their program more around a rehabilitative aspect when we go through. So the very first step in any program is just going to be for you guys to be able to articulate um, what that is for you. Okay. This set of pictures, I apologize. I just had written copies, and I'll show you these in class here. But this is a student that graduated last year, and maybe some of you know her, Kelsey Bedard. And when she took my beginning weights class, she articulated in this portion of the paper that her goal, I think it's a little fuzzy here, but I have a copy of it with me as I show this to you guys online. But she says, I chose power as my main goal because of the two sports I am constantly doing, track and basketball. I would like to gain power and explosiveness on a 3-day split. So she starts to go into some of the other details of the assignment there, describing split and everything like that. But she goes into why she chooses a program that'll be based around power. And for her, it was mainly through these athletic endeavors that she would do that. Okay, so that's step one. And if you're having trouble doing that, I can still help you determine what that is. But it's important for you to articulate that part of it because um, think of your weight training program like going to a drugstore and there's all these different medicines you can take depending on what you need them for. In her respect, she wanted something that would help develop power for these two sports that she competed in. So she might choose something off the shelf in that drugstore that would help with that regard, and that's going to impact the sets and reps that she does and kind of everything about her program when she goes through. Okay, the next thing, step two here that I had students do when I was doing the step-by-step thing. So you've got your goal created. Now it's really just time to put together a big laundry list of exercises that you enjoy. And this can be from the list that I use as an introductory amount of exercises to teach you in beginning weights that we did that first week. In that case, I will put a whole bunch of things together in the weight room for you to use as resources, some charts and stuff like that. I try to pull this PowerPoint off of my server over at Rocky because it does a pretty decent job of showing some of those basic lifts that we covered in beginning weights. Also, that we have covered in beginning weights. We put this together for Team Drive, which they were doing orientations for students in the weight room and stuff. They had students that were going through and helping out with that. So you might, you can use this if you want me to email this to you, or I'm going to try and I have my aide putting together some charts that we're going to put in the weight room, and so maybe you can use those charts to recall, like, oh yeah, we did learn flat bench. Sometimes I just have a hard time remembering that's what that is. Um, or hey, yeah, we did go through dumbbell fly. I forgot what that was. Couldn't visualize it here really quickly. Oh yeah, we did do military press. That's right. That's one of those ones that works our shoulders overhead when we go through, and we can do that on both the barbell or the dumbbells, right? Oh yeah, that's right. That's starting to look familiar now. That puts a picture to it, right? Side raise, front raise. We did that one as well. We worked on kickbacks on the triceps. Worked on overhead dumbbell tricep extension as well. We worked on these cable ones in the back corner as well. Okay, this one goes into back now. I think I just did some basic ones for them. I didn't do everything we did too. But there's pull-ups, lat pull-downs, the high row, low row, seated row, all those machines we still have in the weight room now. One-arm dumbbell row. We work shrugs, again, a barbell or a dumbbell exercise. For biceps, we went through preacher curl on either end of them. We worked the cables in the corner. There's our dumbbell curls. Concentration curl, that's one we went through too. Okay, we introduced squat. And there's a modification right there that we have a student in class that uses right now too, and that's a great one when you guys have any type of injury or anything like that that's going on too that you're dealing with. Okay, there's the leg press. That's one that we covered from the beginning. Step ups, I cannot remember whether we did, but another one that's very similar to lunges, which we did cover right there. And then just your basic leg extension, leg curls are probably coming up. Um, we did not cover RDLs yet. I'll teach that here in the next week or so if you haven't done it. Pretty cool exercise for the hamstrings. And then seated calf raise. And I think that pretty much rounds it out right there. But that's just to give you guys a visual on kind of just like a laundry list of things that you could do and put into your personal program. So again, that next step is creating a list of exercises that you enjoy doing. Okay, that really, and this is the key part of it right here that I want you guys to do a good job on here is it's got to be something that trains the entire body. Many of you are interested in seeing maybe particular changes in certain parts of your body, but we're never going to encourage you to start or continue a program that just works that part of the body over and over again. We're going to want you to be able to hit all parts of your body when you go through. Okay. What does that look like in the final plan? If I find, let me see if I can find Kelsey's deal here again and move it up a little bit. So she had that first introductory kind of written piece right there that talked about her goals a little bit. And then right underneath it, she literally just took a section and headed it as exercises and just listed everything that she would like to get through full body wise in a week's time. So it kind of looks like, if you guys think of it this way, it kind of looks like if you're going to the grocery store and all the things that you're trying to pick up from the grocery store, it's you sitting down and just saying, in a week's time, these are all the exercises that I want to get through. Okay? So that's step 2. Now you have a goal, and then next you've got a list of exercises that you want to get through in a week. That list comes from the things we've covered in class. It comes from things you know outside of class that you brought with you before you ever came in, things you're interested in. Maybe things you want to look up a little bit when you research this project, just so you have maybe some new and different exercises to do a little bit too. Okay? So our first 2 steps right there. Now, our next step from there is going to be, let me try and get back to this here. This is kind of interesting doing this in the screen-o-matic or screencast-o-matic. The next step, now that you have your goal and you have your exercises put together, is really, how do you want to split that up throughout the week? So we've introduced the concept of splits throughout the first couple of weeks of the class, and you guys have gone through a basic 2-day, 3-day, and 4-day split. And some of it's modified to meet the school week a little bit better when you get older. If you guys want to lift through the weekends on your own programs, you can kind of make that, something that you do as well. Okay? But when we say splits, really what I want you to see, what I think is important for you to envision, if I drag this up in here, is just look at your week this way and decide whether it is, you want to follow something like a 2-day, something like a 3-day, or something maybe more like a 4-day. But on a 2-day split, we kind of talked about this person maybe being the person who doesn't have much time to get in the weight room. They have time every day, but it's a small amount of time. So maybe they, they want to be able to cover each part of the body a couple times a week. So they get in there on like a Monday and do an upper body day, lower body day. They have an off day and they go back and just repeat that, an upper body day and a lower body day. So they're putting together everything on the upper body day, from chest, shoulder, tricep, back, and bicep exercises, right? Coming in and putting together a leg day on the next day. All of these are built so that they have rest days. They have a two-day layoff here before they would hit an upper body day again. Maybe you prefer something more like a 3-day split because of the time you have available, or you find this to be a little bit more preferable. Some of you in this class may want to design your programs around having a couple days off throughout a 5-day week so that you can do some more things like cardio, stretching, different things like that. I've had students who do that also. So this gives you a little bit more flexibility to do that. The groupings on it would look something like this. We'd have essentially what we'd call a push day, right? All muscles that push out and away from our body, chest, shoulder, tricep. We would have a pull day, and we'd still have our lower body day, offset by two off days here when we go through. Okay, that'd be a second option. A third option you could choose from is what we just completed this week, or we're completing this week, this idea of a 4-day split. This is what we said, maybe a little bit more of like the bodybuilder's routine. Hey, I want to take a little more time each day and focus on each smaller categorization of muscle groups here. So we might come in on a Monday and have just a chest and shoulder day, okay? And then come back on a Tuesday and just work the arms through a bicep and tricep. We could come back on a Wednesday and have an off day from all of it. Thursday hit a leg day, and then Friday come back and just hit a back day. Lots of pull-ups, lots of rows, all these types of things. So we may have a lot of time available to us, but we may choose something like that because we just really want to spend a little more time on each of those body parts. Okay, so that starts you off and at least gives you the first 3 steps in the assignment. And I think what I'll do is just create another video after this that kind of takes you and where you're going from here. We'll take a look at Kelsey's next time and see how she puts the splits together also. Okay, I'm out for now.